Welcome to the Super Simple Homeschool Podcast, where we help you homeschool with purpose while keeping it super simple. Whether you're washing dishes, folding laundry, or taking a much needed coffee break, I'm so glad you're here listening with me. I'm your host, Jenny Hedrick. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 and a licensed therapist of 20 years. Today, we are going to chat about something I know many of us face on a regular basis, and this is homeschooling in the chaos. We're talking about those big life events like having a baby, moving to a new home, dealing with illness, or even loss. If you're feeling overwhelmed, trust me, you are not alone. I've been there. In fact, I'm there right now. You see, a few months ago, we recognized that we could no longer afford to stay in our home. We have had too much debt piling up and the financial strain was more than we can bear. So it's time to move forward. We've been talking with my parents about getting a place together with them for a few years, and the circumstances lined up just so that now seems to be the right time. Cue the chaos. Before we could list our home, we needed to do some work on the house. So we spent almost 8 weeks painting, moving stuff into storage, and replacing flooring. Everything was a mess. It was summer and we were taking it off from school, so it seemed fine. But it has become more and more clear that waiting to start our school year until after the move just wasn't going to be possible. Currently, our house is listed, but not sold. My parents' house is listed, but not sold. We have had open houses, showings, etc. Plus, half of our stuff is in storage. Oi. So I'm here today in the chaos, sharing with you, Mama. And maybe you're in the chaos too. You are not alone. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, a move is stressful, but there are so many more things that make life difficult that can impact how you're homeschooling. Maybe you're dealing with something more permanent, like a chronic illness, or maybe something longer term, but temporary, like a new baby in the home or even a difficult toddler. Regardless of what it is, learning to homeschool through the chaos will provide you and your family with some stability and purpose. Speaking of purpose, if you haven't defined your homeschool's purpose yet, you are going to want to grab my guide to discovering your homeschool's purpose. It is a short guide to walk you through the steps of defining what matters most in your homeschool and then evaluating your homeschool using that purpose as a measuring stick. You can grab that free guide through the link in the show notes. If you are new to homeschool or still feeling overwhelmed by all that homeschool entails, check out my course, You Can Homeschool, designed to help you start homeschooling simply and purposefully. It's like having a homeschool coach in your pocket cheering you on with encouragement and direction. You can learn all about it on my website, linked in the show notes. Okay, let's get to it. When homeschooling through the chaos, I have 5 tips to keep in mind. Number 1, life is school. When you are dealing with difficult things in life, you're teaching your kids more than math and reading and social studies and writing and art and whatever else, right? You are showing them what life is like. And it is okay to take a break from the book work, to take a break from the regular routine of school, and to do things like watching documentaries for learning, getting on to YouTube or checking books out from the library, audiobooks, podcasts, right? You can do those things, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute, but also include your kids in what is going on. Do this in an age-appropriate way, but talk to them about the frustration of not being able to sell your home as quickly as you'd like, about finding homes that you like, but not being able to put an offer in because our house hasn't sold yet or whatever. This is what we're doing clearly. But if you have a new baby, include your older kids in recognizing what babies need and how to take care of a baby, and what mom is going through with her body and her emotions after a baby is born. All those things are educational and teaching your children through what you're going through in life. Your children are going to learn these things from you, even if you're not intentionally teaching them. The other thing is, it's okay to teach them life skills and house skills during this time. Teach them how to do chores so that they can help you around the house. Teach them how to prepare their own meals so that when they're hungry, they don't need to rely on you to make them something. You can use these times to do life school, to do life skills, and you don't need to feel the pressure that we have to sit down and be in our workbooks or in our curriculum for 4 hours today or any day, because you can find other ways to educate your children without doing that. And so remember that they are learning through life, and it's okay to step back and just be intentional about the way you're living, because life is school. That's number one. Life is school. Number two, trim the fat. Okay, so to trim the fat in your homeschool, well, okay, let's just be real. Fat's good for you. I love fat, right? Fat's good for your brain. And so, we're speaking, obviously this is a expression, but when we're talking about trimming the fat in homeschool, we're talking about evaluating all the things that you're doing against your purpose, right? So if your purpose is to teach your children about God, or if it is to teach your children how to live in a cohesive family unit, to get along with each other and things like that, whatever your purpose is, right? It's okay to say, you know what? I can meet that purpose without doing all the things that we normally do in our homeschool day, right? Like I'm constantly struggling with the balance of, I want to do all the things, but realistically, I don't have the time, the energy, the bandwidth, the resources to be able to do all the things. And so when things are chaotic, all the more so, right? So just trim the fat, like just get down to the basics. Some days maybe you just do math today. Maybe you just do reading or writing today. If you don't do history this week, you know what? Your kids will be okay. If you don't do science, they'll be okay. Kids are scientists naturally if we let them be anyway, right? So just pare down and look at what you're doing and get rid of everything that isn't necessary, right? And then if you're doing that and you're incorporating those important life skills like we talked about, you are going to be providing them with an education, even if it doesn't look like what you think it should look like, or what you would want it to look like. Okay, so life is school, trim the fat, and number 3, find the easy buttons. Okay, this is me right now because I don't have time. I don't have time to do extra. My house is like so empty, and I have this tiny little homeschool closet where we're trying to keep all our stuff in because it's out of the way, and the mess is contained in this tiny little closet. And so I don't have time for extra. So easy buttons. Some of my favorite easy buttons: podcasts, right? So many good, amazing educational podcasts. Nat Theo for science and Bible, real cool history for kids, for history and let's see, World Watch for current events. Tuttle Twins is another great one for social studies, right? You can have your kids listen to audiobooks. So podcasts, 1, audiobooks, 2, right? Like my kids consume audiobooks like you would not believe. And it's like they listen to the same ones over and over again, but they're getting an education, right? So listen to audiobooks, listen to podcasts, YouTube, okay? Do not let your kids get on YouTube unsupervised. I'm just going to say that. However, YouTube is a great resource for finding out new things. This year, I started something called the Curiosity Cup. Every time they have a question, I wonder about this, or why does this happen, or how does this work? We write it down and we put them on a piece of paper and then stick them in a cup, and then we draw one out. We did this today, and we learned how Legos are made. And we watched a couple YouTube videos on how Legos are made. We watched one on the actual manufacturing of the bricks. And then we watched another one on how sets are designed. And it was very cool and fun. My kids were so into it. And then we practiced some writing skills. So we talked about how to write a summary of what we learned watching those videos. And then they did that. It was a great educational activity, very little effort on my part, but huge payoff for them. So there's another easy button. YouTube is truly a great resource. Other streaming services that have documentaries, things like that, it's okay to use screens when you need to lighten the load on yourself. Doing things like okay, I'm going to say screens are an easy button. Giving them a very specific project in Minecraft. If your kids are in Minecraft, you can have them look up like an architectural wonder of the world, right? Like the Taj Mahal or Christ the Redeemer in Rio de Janeiro. And, have them build that in Minecraft, have them build something in Minecraft. Or, there's STEM books for Minecraft where they can learn about a STEM concept and apply it in Minecraft. Do stuff like that, right? Like that's educational and the kids are thrilled and it keeps them busy for a while. So you can, take a nap or cry or talk to a friend or whatever you need to do. Okay. Find the easy buttons. One of the things that I historically have done has been cooking meals from scratch for my family. I love doing this. I love to cook. I love to bake. And recently, one of my easy buttons has been letting someone else do the meal planning for me. I actually have been paying for a meal plan, and what that means is I pull it up. It's a 2-week meal plan, and I click a button and it sticks the whole thing in my Walmart grocery cart, and I just order it and I don't have to think about meals. I don't have to plan my meals. And this is a recent one for me, and it's been brilliant, right? So find those easy buttons, whatever that looks like for you. Okay, so life is school, trim the fat, find the easy buttons, and 4, ask for help. Okay? It's okay to say to another homeschool mom, hey, I am struggling. Can you take my kids for the afternoon? If you have family in town, ask one of, someone in your family to come and hang out with the kids so you can take care of what you need to take care of. Whatever you need to do, ask for help, use your community, and, let people know what you need. I've been so humbled by the wonderful community I have around me. I've had people cook dinner for us. I've had people take my kids. And it's very humbling because I'm kind of a person who likes to take care of things on my own. But it's so nice when you can let someone else do some of the heavy lifting for you when they're in a season where they are happy to do that. Okay, so life is school, trim the fat, find the easy buttons, ask for help, and lastly, stay flexible. The ability to be flexible is one of the greatest benefits to homeschooling. And so if something's not working, then change it. It's okay. It's okay. If you're feeling stressed and you need a day off, take a day off. Send the kids outside, to play and explore. Take the day off. You all go outside and play and explore. It's amazing what nature will do for you. And, just really work on adjusting your expectations for yourself and recognize that it's okay if I need to change what we're doing. I came into the school year with a plan, and, less than 2 weeks in, I was making changes. And you know what? That's okay. When we get back into a regular routine again, when we're settled in a new home and we're getting used to life, it's going to be different, right? We're going to have a different environment because we're going to have my parents there, and things are going to be different than they are now. And that's good. And change can be really good, but it's still hard. And so staying flexible and not getting too rigid in what you're doing. Now, with that, I also want to say, put your blinders on. This is an extra. We'll say this is number 6, but it's a bonus. Put your blinders on. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't worry about comparing yourself to what you see homeschoolers doing on social media. Just put the Instagram away, put the Facebook away. Just put your blinders on and do what's best for you and your family in this moment. Remember, you don't have to be perfect or do everything right. As a homeschool mom, you can lean on God's strength to get you through each day. You don't have to be enough, which is a good thing because you never will be anyway. It's okay. He is enough, and He will give you the strength you need, if only for today. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Super Simple Homeschool Podcast. If you appreciated this episode, would you share with a friend or leave a review? I'd love to help more people find this podcast so they can be encouraged to homeschool simply and purposefully. And don't forget to follow or subscribe so you never miss a future episode.